Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video, I'm going to go through a YouTube question. So the question was, can we take a look at Aussie CAD? And before I jump into this question, I just wanted to look at the currency strength meter to see what the currencies were up to and if there was an edge in particular on Aussie CAD. And what we can actually see is that recently the two currencies have crossed over. Now what I'm focusing on here is the green line and the grey line. The grey line is the Australian dollar and the green line is the Canadian dollar, and they have crossed over recently with the Canadian dollar strength. But what's interesting about this mostly is that Aussie has been moving down for quite some time now. So I do like the opportunity to sell the Australian dollar, especially against the likes of the Canadian dollar. So let's jump into a couple of charts. Now the first chart I'm going to look at is Aussie US dollar, because if we're going to trade Aussie CAD, then we are essentially trading the Australian US dollar versus the US dollar CAD. Okay, so essentially if I want, so let's just put Aussie CAD here. If I want Aussie CAD to move lower, okay, considering we've just looked at that strength meter, I need to see Aussie US dollar move lower, and I need to see dollar CAD either move sideways or move lower as well, because I want the Australian dollar to weaken. So if we take out this here, I want the Australian dollar to weaken and I want the Canadian dollar to gain strength. Okay, so I want both of these currency pairs moving lower. So if we take a look at those first, we can see that we have the Aussie US dollar here. The 4 hour at the moment is kind of in a little bit of a range. We recently did head up towards these highs at 0.78, but every time it kind of got to the highs, we rejected it and moved lower. And now we're kind of trying to break through this significant low at 0.7690. At the moment, we're failing to break that low. The market is kind of holding above there. However, if that Australian dollar weakness is going to continue, we would expect a breakout of these lows and a potential continuation down. Okay, and that's what we want to see. So alternatively, what we need to see here, we need to see price break out of this range here in order to be on the side of selling the Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar. If we go take a look at dollar CAD, we featured this in the Forex Market Outlook yesterday. And what we were particularly looking for was price to come back up into this high volume level at 123.95. Now, it doesn't mean that price is going to get there. It's just an area that we would like to be short from. Now, what's happening at the moment is price is really trying to break above these highs at 123.20 and it's just rejecting. So if price was to continue to show bearish price action here, we could look for some downside. But what the most ideal thing for me would be is dollar CAD being back at this high volume level, because it's a level of resistance. If we're looking to buy the Canadian dollar, we want to be buying it from these key areas. So if I wanted to be a seller of Aussie CAD, I would like to sell that when dollar CAD hits that sort of 123.95 and when the Aussie US dollar price breaks out of that range and retests. So if we go and take a look at Aussie CAD on the daily time frame, at the moment we're forming a bearish candlestick. That's just showing us that the Australian dollar has moved quite a little way overnight. Now again, one of these levels that kind of coincides with that dollar CAD is this level here, 95.45 on Aussie CAD, because this would be a likely area where sellers would re-enter the market. It's also, if dollar CAD was to reach that high volume level, we'll probably see a little bit of a Canadian dollar sell-off before seeing the market come into this area. So I would like to short Aussie CAD. I'd like to be on the short side of it, but I would like to be short at 95.45. Doesn't mean that the price is going to get back to this level, but there is a high probability that if price was to get back to this area, we could see a continuation of this overall downtrend through here. Now targets on this, if we look for some alternative entries, targets on this for me would be all the way down into sort of this 93.45 area or 93.50. Reason being is because there was a bit of demand back here recently that's been untested. So what I would really like to see is that sort of consolidation, pullback, continuation to the downside on Aussie CAD. Hopefully that made sense. If you have any comments, just let me know in the comment section down below. If you have any charts that you want me to take a look at, please feature it down in the comment section, and I'll speak to you soon.